Hello, everyone. Welcome back to RUSHgg Sunday Rush. Kirk, doobsnax, Dubé, Josh, Zoinks, Hiebert, and we are on the horizon of Game 2. Game 1 from Pipchamps, Lock It Down, Cris Heroes, Cris Hero from Cloud9, playing that Sylveon, doing a lot of good work with Hyper Voice. But we've got a little bit of a shakeup going into Game 2 as DZet looks to balance out that scoreboard.
Yeah, a little bit of a change up in the team comps. Instead of sending Cinder to the jungle, Ray is going to be taking the Venusaur to the jungle, saying, if it's the best character in the game, I want it at the highest level on my team, which opens up the bottom lane to actually be getting an Alolan Ninetales. I think this is a really interesting take because if I'm looking at the normal DZet strategy that we've seen, it's aggression, gas pedal, all the way down, all the time. But when you're playing Alolan Ninetales, you're favoring yourself to a lot more CC and stun and defensive opportunities. To me, this looks like maybe a little shift up in the DZet strategy, but hey, if they can make Alolan Ninetales work like a bull rush into a China shop, I'd love to see it. This aggression is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, maybe they're hoping that this little change-up will put Pipchamps off their game a little bit, and they can leverage that to their own advantage. Here we go. Top Audino skirmish. We're going to see who nabs it, and Cris would like to get it for themselves, and I'm not quite sure who got it, but I know it wasn't Cris. As they work down, and they're putting some pressure on DZet, the Alolan Ninetales, as they are fresh into this game, that Pokemon fresh out.
Yeah. DZet, really, like I said, is going to be pushing into that early damage. Remember, Alolan Ninetales' passive ability can freeze as well as all their attacks, so it is going to make it very hard for Pipchamps to be moving around at all. But Cris Heroes knows that, is going to be keeping their distance, but it does not help Bruv, as Haya is able to take the KO and the dunk, getting the level up to Eldegoss. That is a huge early pick. Quite a bad mistake, but let's see if Pipchamps can punish.
And they are able to get all over Hyatt and mow them down with the help of Gosu coming in from the jungle here and able to put a little bit of pressure in that bottom lane. Cris Heroes is level 4, so we are seeing Hyper Voices, and they unleash that very timely on the bees as they're mowed down and almost completely taken by Pipchamps there. Maybe one bee went the other direction. Viet and Stevo trying to come in. Hyatt with a little bit of pressure on the back end as they're working through those Audinos, and that was a big confusion that stunned a couple of the players on Pipchamps. Cris doing the Hyper Voice, trying to bubble out Hyatt, and Stevo gets right into the mix, throws a barrier into confusion, and a quick score is going to get them a little bit of HP, a little bit of experience, and they're content with that as they're going to start working on this Audino, and Cris is able to just snatch it out from the hands of Stevo as they are cruising down the other way, and they're watching what happens on the other side of the board. Bruv getting caught a little bit, the Mr. Mime.
Bruv doing a invade of the Autonos that aren't there, basically just making sure he says, hey Cris, I'm just go farm and just enjoy your life because you will have no trouble against anything. But the Lucario jungle invading is actually going to be taking its best opportunity to sneak in. Man, DZet again just saying we are going to push every chance we get. The aggression is there all the time, and that is helping them so much in this level game. Pretty much even levels across the board in the bot lane, despite there being trading kills constantly.
Yeah, Cris happy to stay home and try and defend that bottom goal zone a little bit as they are all waiting for the bees now. Cris is going to go grab the core fish there before getting back into the middle, and they're just keeping a keen eye, waiting for the bees to pop up, and that was a great barrier by Stevo to keep Pipchamps from getting into the mix on those bees, and Cris is just forced to retreat. I'm not convinced they got any at all, and Stevo and Hyatt are just bubbling, and they're trying to lock down that one Audino as well, and you have to give it to Stevo. They're using these walls masterfully to really cut off all convenient angles from Pipchamps to where they're actually trying to go. Drednaw's here, and slowly Pipchamps makes their way as Bruv gets into the mix and kicks it off. All 5 players are all together there for DZet, and they're going straight for Drednaw, but it does not matter because Cris clutches it out with a Hyper Voice, and now with the barriers and the experience boost, they're chasing everybody down, and that is 3 players down on DZet, and you can't think they drew it up like this as all the points are rolling into that goal zone now, and Cris is already going upstairs, working through some core fish, getting their own levels up, and maybe making their way to Rotom.
Yeah, wow. What an attack from Pipchamps. Honestly, a coin flip on the Drednaw, leaving it up just 5v5. One important thing I want to mention is that DZet is going to be running Solar Beam on their Venusaur, not running that Petal Blizzard Giga Drain. Going to be lending themselves for that high damage output and that boss secure instead, but did not work out for them in that team fight, obviously. Using the Solar Beam a little early, probably not having it on cooldown for the end of that Drednaw fight.
Yeah, and I mean, that's mum's the word. It doesn't take much for that Drednaw to swing the other way. Cris Heroes stepped in and said, tonight we dine on turtle soup. I want that for the Pipchamps. And they took it down. Those bees are mowed down. Arista getting their fair share there. And you got to give credit to Arista. They are aggressive, and they are everywhere. They are in and out, and they are really putting some stress onto these Pipchamps players, maybe taking them off their game a little bit. And you have to think that's exactly what DZet wants from Arista when they sign them up onto this team and put them into the Lucario role. Snowpoints and Cris just aggravatingly attacking into Arista as they are pushed back into their goal zone. And I think Arista's just happy with doing what they've been doing.
Yeah, Cris, honestly exemplifying probably one of the safer play styles I've ever seen in a Pokemon Unite player, especially with such a high damage output of Sylveon. But you are not going to catch Cris unawares, ever. Case in point, looking at this Lucario in Arista that they are faced up against, one of the craftiest and fastest Lucario players that we've seen. I don't know if Cris has ever went below half HP in a 1v1 against them. And Lucario is no slouch. They are holding their own in these 1v1s and making sure that they are playing smart and efficient.
Here we go. Gosu's already kicking off Drednaw. It started Cris a little late to the battle, and it doesn't even matter because it's taken. Cris eyes down Ray, and look at that Hyper Voice just mowing down that HP on Ray, and not having that Giga Drain and Petal Dance combination means that they are not long for this world. And that's a Hyper Voice on the retreat, and Sanji takes out the opposing Lucario Arista, and that is two very good KOs on their opposing counterparts from the other team, from Pipchamps, and that's just kind of the order of the day when it comes to them and these one-on-one fights. Gosu farming, going to the top lane. Arista back to bully.
Arista having to take the role of goalie here this time instead of aggressor when Cris and Gosu are both going to be pushing top lane, and now Bruv and Gosu looking for a nice dunk, able to drop those 50s and 40s if they can, but unfortunately, yeah, Steve-O going to be coming in for the block. Rotom, though, is getting evaporated from the, Fire Mouse and Microwave Eevee? I don't know what to call that thing.
We'll call it the ribbon Eevee Sylveon. But yes. Steve-O and Arista are stuck in the goal zone, and that's a great block by Bruv as they trap them behind a wall and pinch them off from the rest of their team, and that's a KO from the Cris, Bruv, and Gosu just trio there as they did a lot of work in that top lane to close that goal zone out and take that Rotom. Cris jumping into the middle, seeing that core fish, and they're going to go ahead and get that experience right now.
Yeah, 3 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock, about just over a minute to Drednaw, and thus begins the farming for Unite moves. Currently, the only member of Pipchamps that doesn't have it up is going to be Snowpoint's Eldegoss, but when he's sitting up there farming those top core fish, it's not going to take too long. But when you have a Lucario breathing down your neck, especially one as good as Arista, it makes it a little bit trickier.
Fortunately, with 2 minutes and 47 seconds on the clock, they will be able to naturally tick that Unite move up and probably have it in a good position there as Zapdos comes around. Bees are taken by Cris and Bruv, Sanji and company rolling down, and here's Steve-O, the Mr. Mime on the opposing side of the board, coming in and going to try and put a little bit of pressure on as Bruv catches them with a barrier confusion. Cris finds Ray, and they say, I've been liking attacking this Venusaur all day long, as they take a good chance of the chunk of the HP down. Sanji closes the door on it, and that Drednaw is going down. Can Steve-O make a move? They don't. It's actually Bruv the Mime that takes it. Steve-O actually gets buckled for their troubles there, as there are 3 players down here on DZet. They are under-leveled now. They are behind in experience, and they are just chasing this Lucario Arista down. They are out of it for another 15 seconds, as you've got to think that Pipchamps is in a good position here.
Steve-O trying to throw themselves on the metaphorical Drednaw grenade as they try to just save their team some EXP and shields, but unfortunately just could not compete against the 5 members of Pipchamps smashing into that boss Pokemon. Currently, Cris Heroes just defending that top tier tower, just making sure that no backcaps happen. Right now, Pipchamps sitting on a huge lead. Neither one of their tier 1 towers gone. They are just going to be playing that defense, and if possible, get that nice back cap from Cris Heroes. A full pocket of 50 means a lot in these late game scoring opportunities.
Yeah, Cris seeing that opportunity, and they're about to dunk in a hundo burger, and there's nobody in the way to keep them from doing that. That's a perfectly and strategically executed time to do that, not leaving their team out to dry here, as nobody's on Zapdos, and they're rolling down, just picking up some more AOS energy for their troubles. And you see all the Unite moves come out. Steve-O just used their Unite move pretty much to get away. Uses a block and confusion to stun Cris a little bit as they use Hyper Voice on Hyatt, and they take them down. And that's 3 players down now on the opposing side of the board here for DZet, and now Pipchamps. I mean, they could do Zapdos if they want, or they could just hang out. At this point, it's all about hiding in the grass and taking your picks when you got them.
Yeah, honestly, a masterclass of positioning out of Pipchamps. They had a gigantic lead, and they knew that all that was on the mind of DZet was hunting for kills. They wanted to get a couple of nice KOs to clean the way for Zapdos, but Pipchamps says, sure, but you got to find us first. We're going to spread out all the way across the map using as much room as they have, made it impossible. When a DZet finally found someone to collapse onto, it was only Sanji in the bottom lane, and that's not going to give them an opportunity for Zapdos at all. Cris Heroes takes that chance, gets the back cap on that tier 2 tower, and just for fun, Bruv gets to jump a giant 100 bomb into the home base of DZet. Whew, I'm afraid to look at this scoreline.
Yeah, 422 to 184. It could have been a lot worse based on what we were seeing, and you got to give a little bit of style points to Cris here. They're using that Unite move for nothing else, but I think just to say that they used it before that game was over. You got to
efficiency.
Just maximum efficiency there. Tell me, what does DZet need to do? Because it looked like they're firing on all cylinders in game 1. Game 2, it seemed to slip out of their hands very quickly. And with their aggressive style, I don't think they can have that many missteps and expect to leave with a win for their troubles.
Honestly, what I think it's going to come down to is I'd love to see them try something. I know it's hard to do when you're down by 2 in a best of 5 scenario. I want to see them try something crazy out of their positioning. We've seen them be very aggressive, but you saw that first Drednaw fight. It was a 5v5 Civil War line on either side of that Drednaw staring down at each other. I would love to see them go high and come around and try to smoke one of the backline players of Pipchamps. You're giving up that early pressure onto Drednaw, but I mean, it might be an option. Also, I would love to see it against Arista. They're playing incredibly. That E-speed is giving them a ton of favors in those team fights. I might like to see the changeover to the power-up punch. Right now, we're losing a lot of Drednaws. We're losing some Rotoms out there. I would love to see a little bit more of that boss secure coming out. But, I mean, if Arista's bread and butter is the E-speed, I need to see it work. I need to see it make work. And at the moment, I really do think power-up punch will be giving them a lot more ground.
Yeah, they switched to Alolan Ninetales, and I can't recall once that was on the screen really making a significant impact. Almost every time we saw it, it's Pip was showing up at the top to say it was KO'd. I believe it was Viet that was on Alolan Ninetales there, and they just didn't really seem like a factor. Do they need to go back to Venusaur and kick Cinderace back onto Ray and see what they can do in that direction, or do you think they should just build the confidence into this Alolan Ninetales strategy and keep pressing forward?
No, I'm with you. I think revert back to match 1 team comp. I mean, honestly, one of their biggest problems is how flippin' good Cris is on this Sylveon. I mean, they try to approach, their HP is gone by the time they get within striking range. Cris is an incredible, safe, but well thought out player, and he is giving them the business right now. I think if they get more of a range style comp that they can contest that Sylveon outside of that echoed voice range and just compete with that speed a little bit more, they might be able to put a more of a fighting chance. But at the moment, right now, I mean, the Solar Beam was a nice look. I don't know if it worked out exactly as they thought it would, but right now, Cris is the player to beat on Pipchamp's team. And he's looking real good right now. You have to beat Cris at his best. And his best is one of the best. So I'm excited to see what they bring out in Game 3. Like I said, I want them to throw something at the wall and see what sticks.
Absolutely. Game 3 on the horizon. This is a best of 5. There are 2 in hand for Pipchamps. They can see the light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of rough sledding up ahead for DZet, but that is it's tough work, but it's not impossible work. And we'll see how they make those adjustments here in Game 3. Kirk, doobsnax, Dubé, Josh, Zoinks, Hiebert. We'll be right back.